Hi! In this video, I'll show you how to clean and update your training data. In your cloudlet, go to Machine Learning from Manage. You should have already crawled or imported all the data you want. Now it's time to clean the data. Cleaning the data is usually pretty easy and quick, as our crawler's superior quality does most of the work for you. Usually I like to double-check a couple of things, though. First, go to Training Data, on Type, Sort, on your model. Now, you'll only see training data for this particular model, and won't accidentally delete something from another model. What you're seeing here is a list of snippets. At the bottom, you can see how many snippets this model has in total. You can see the entire snippet when you click Edit at the right, or delete a snippet by clicking Delete. The first thing I do when cleaning the data is click Edit on a couple of the snippets just to see that they contain some kind of information that might be valuable and not just ipsum lorem text or something like that. Here you can see what a typical snippet might look like. The prompt is at the top, which is kind of like a question or topic, and the completion or relevant information is under that. You can see that this snippet contains information from the page that was crawled. The next thing I like to do is check images. This is only if you want your chatbot to actually reply with images. If you don't, then you can skip this step. Click Edit on a couple of snippets that contain images. They might have the word image at the start of the prompt, or they might be images within your snippets with text, depending a bit on how your website is set up and when you crawled your website. At the bottom here, you can click on Preview to see the snippet in HTML format. So if an image link is broken, it'll be a dead image icon instead of the image. This way you can also remove any images you don't want the chatbot to use, if any. Do this either by deleting the snippet or removing the markdown from the snippet. Let's say this snippet had text as well as markdown for the image. Simply remove the markdown text and click Save. You may also want to check for any keywords that might contain useless information, such as subscribe, newsletter, common, etc. These may often be things that are repeating on every page, but useless to the chatbot and taking up valuable space in your cloudlet. Delete them, or at the very least, delete duplicates. Next, I remove any pages I don't want the chatbot to be trained on. This can be things like privacy policy, cookie policy, or other pages you don't want it trained on for any reason. Use search at the top to search for keywords like this. You can always add a snippet manually referencing your privacy policy if you want to, but having the chatbot be trained on the privacy policy is redundant in most cases. This model hasn't crawled our privacy policy or cookie policy as they're low priority, and I only crawled 25 pages to make this video. But let's say I wanted to exclude this page on digital marketing. If so, I can copy the URL. If the URL is too long to show up entirely, click Edit on the snippet to see the entire URL. Hit Ctrl and A, then Ctrl and C to copy. Now go to the search bar and paste the URL here. Now you can see how many snippets this model has from this particular page at the bottom. Click Delete All to remove all training data from this particular page. Let's say I want to remove all training data from this page except one snippet. The fastest way to do that is to click Edit, remove the URL, and save it. At the bottom, you should see the number of snippets reduce by 1 and can confirm it's no longer in this list by checking that. You may need to refresh it by searching for the URL again. Now click Delete All. You can now find the snippet you removed the URL for and give it back its URL if you want to do that. For example, if you're going to use the AI search or the references feature. This same method can be used for prompt as well, deleting every single snippet with a certain word in the prompt, except for one by giving it a temporary prompt, like just an X, for example. Next, maybe I want to crawl another page that hasn't been crawled or a page from another website. Keep in mind to follow local laws when doing this if you're crawling a website that is not your own. Find the page you want to crawl, copy the URL, go back to your cloudlet, click Spice, and enter the URL here. Spice usually only takes around a second or two. You have to refresh to see your new snippets. You can do that by typing something in the search bar and removing it. Here are your new snippets. Your data has been cleaned, and the next step is to test your model. Now I'll show you how to update your model's training data. Updating your model's training data is pretty similar to cleaning your data. Let's say one of your pages has been updated. This can be new information or something has changed that is significant and needs to update it in the model. Find this page's URL and copy it. Search for the URL and click Delete All. Now click Spice, paste the URL, and crawl this single page. You may want to double-check that no images are broken if this page contains images. Apart from that, you should be finished. You could also just find the relevant snippet and edit the text, but I find that just removing the snippets from the page and recrawling it is much faster. Maybe you've added pages to your website. You can use Spice to crawl each single page, but if you've added more than 5 pages, it may be quicker to just go back to Models, click Import, and recrawl your website. This won't recrawl any pages the model is already trained on. It'll only crawl new pages. However, if your website has a lot of pages you want to exclude from the chatbot, or you spent a lot of time initially cleaning the data, you're going to want to use Spice instead of doing this, as it'll recrawl any pages you've deleted from the chatbot as well. If you added a lot of manual training data during the initial testing phase, especially if you didn't give these new snippets URLs, you might want to go through your snippets to check for any conflicting information. This is why any manually created snippets should either have a very descriptive prompt or an URL to a page mentioning this info, so it'll be easier to find later if the info needs to be updated. That's all you need to know about cleaning and updating the training data. Thanks for watching.